flip the logo upside down. What you are going to see this.
That's the origin of Peppa Pig. Animal Farm by George Orwell.
Animal Farm depicts a group of animals who rebel against humans and become their own masters. The only humans you are going to see in Peppa Pig: Santa Claus, Queen, and the pirate. Beside the other animals, you only got Daddy Pig, Mommy Pig, George Pig, and Peppa Pig. Who's the other pig inside their home watching out of the window? Although everyone is laughing here, every single medal got a double side. We're just going to focus on some characters, starting with Mr. Bull.
Lost City.
Warren Schofield
Found the lost city right beneath under Los Angeles. With his X-ray machine, he created a map which were beneath Los Angeles. In the center of the map, there are markers with huge chambers with gold. He claimed that there lived an ancient civilization about 5,000 years ago underneath Los Angeles. There are many tunnels in Los Angeles, about 270, but those tunnels should be more than 500 meters below the ground.
Start digging here into the underground at the foot Moore Hill, but he could only reach 300 meters below the surface.
And then returned and found nothing.
You should read more about Warren Schofield, his X-ray machine, and his discovery of the lost city beneath Los Angeles.
Smart.
Has a deeper meaning.
In order to bring the technology into our homes,
In our cell phones, in our computers, in our printers, in our microwave, clocks, coffee machine, washing machine, and of course our cars. Guess why you should buy e-cars? What does the smart technology do? You can measure the radio frequencies which is fired many times per second and bounces from house to house. Now look at the leaves which are next to the smart meter. Here, close up. Look at the leaves. And now think back of the fog which were across the USA and Europe.
Forest City.
It is a database center of Meta and now of TikTok. During the short period of time when TikTok were down, source code were transferred right here to this place. Facebook got now an official account on TikTok. Shouzi Chu
has not a CEO of TikTok anymore in his bio.
and Shouzi Chu got a verified account on Instagram. Now you understand why those members of the Congress were invested in Meta before the ban bill was spoken.
Ronald McDonald launched his own fragrance. You can buy this for $200.
And he launched his own cryptocurrency, a meme coin called Trump. But a verified account wrote that a wallet sold over 32 million worth of Trump in 30 minutes without ever buying any tokens.
The world is a stage, right? The world is a stage.
Squid Games.
During the 80s, vagrants, beggars, and ordinary people across all ages were taken against their will into a camp called Brothers Home in South Korea in order to clean and purify the streets. Divided into platoons of 120 people. Every platoon got a platoon leader who were also a victim. And because of their frustration with the situation, the platoon leaders start their own games with their platoon in the cruelest and horrific ways you can imagine. Guess what's inside those bags? It didn't matter if the victims were innocent young children or elders. Over 600 140 people across all ages were unalived in this camp. Many survivors unalived themselves years later because of the memories they woke up every single day.
Lucha.
Is the official mascot of 2025 of the Vatican. That's not a joke, that's not a joke. It goes even better. Lucha and Friends. It looks like Teletubbies for Catholics. So this is a whole
Idealizing comic merchandising style in order to catch the attention of the youngest.
Now look at the shoes. Here, what do you see there? And the little baby is flying above. Should search more after the red shoes. The Pope with the red shoes. Why do you need mascots? Why do you need idols like her if you are a believer? But this here looks like idolizing, right? If you're a believer, you don't need a mascot. This whole thing is a little bit weird right here in the Vatican.
Tooth Fairy.
That is the origin of the Tooth Fairy. It is all about a witch who used to cast bad spells
While she was in possession of the baby tooth.
around 500 after Jesus Christ, when a child was losing a tooth. Parents buried the teeth deep into the ground so that the witch
Could not reach the teeth in order to use black magic with the bone. So the origins were not a happy and smiling fairy like today.
In our time, the parents are telling the children when they lose a teeth and they're putting it under the pillow, the Tooth Fairy will come and give them money. It's the opposite.
In our times, the parents are exchanging the teeth or the bones for money. While back in the older days, they were hiding it at all costs.
Resurrection.
Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, or the star sign Virgo, or house of bread, because she's holding a sheaf of wheat. And house of bread is also translated into Bethlehem.
The Eastern Star, which is Sirius, marked the way where Jesus Christ was born. And the three kings followed the Eastern Star. The three kings are also known as the stars of the Orion Belt. They are in alignment on December the 24th, pointing at the sunrise of the December the 25th.
The winter solstice is that time when the sun hits the lowest point at the horizon. For 3 days resides the sun in the vicinity of the Southern Cross. December the 25th marks the day where the sun is getting higher again. Resurrection of the sun after 3 days.
The cross is also a sign of the zodiac.
Santa Claus.
This is Santa Claus, the flying reindeers, and this is the ancient Roman god Saturn or Saturno, flying winged snakes. Sometimes he was depicted with a long white beard and a staff, and sometimes he was depicted with a scythe because he was the god of harvest and also the god of time. In ancient Rome, the people celebrate during December a festival called Saturnalia.
Some people had many fun because they had enough to eat and to drink.
And other people were not so happy during Saturnalia because they were given as a gift to the god Saturno.
In other civilizations, the name for Saturno was Molech or Kronos.
Or Kajamanu.
Jingle bells.
That is the origin of the song called Jingle Bells, a one horse open sleigh by J. Pierpont. It's all about the color with the bells around the necks of the slaves.
So the owners could hear when they were trying to flee.
You can visit these bells at the Bullock Museum. So it is not a Christmas song for kids. You should read more about James Pierpont.
The next time you should think twice before singing this song called Jingle Bells.
So when those poor people were trying to flee, and the owners heard the sound coming off the jingle bells, they searched after them on the one-horse open sleigh. Now you know and understand the origin of the song called Jingle Bells on the one-horse open sleigh by Pierpont.
False cross.
Don't tell me you don't know, because now you know.
If you are going to make a cross as a Christian, you are going to start here in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. You are making an inverted cross. Don't believe me? Check again. Here we go. Point 1 and point 2 are forming this line. Point 3 and point 4 are forming this line. Both lines together forms this cross. I know it's just because of traditions and you just learned this, but you should question it, right? That's the audience of the Vatican. Reminds me to a snake from the outside and the inside. Here are the teeth, the eyes, the skin, the tongue rolled in, right? Here, it's the front, right?
John the Baptist.
By Leonardo da Vinci. This finger is this axis and this finger is this axis. We've got an inverted cross, the opposite of this one here. Like the Baphomet as above, so below. If you take this cross as the ordinary system and this cross as the inverted, you get a space between those two axes. Using this distance, cutting everything else, you got this one here. Mirror this side, you got this. Automatically color matches, you got this. That's it. See? The eyes, nose, mouth, horns, crown. That's the secret.
As above, so below. The end times.
A one world currency, pay with the mark of the beast. Maybe Neuralink. One world religion.
Baphomet.
Maybe that's why those people are so heavily promoted.
Who is the Antichrist? I don't know, but Elon Musk is a very interesting person, right? Look here at this picture. Elon Musk owns Neuralink and is heavily invested in Bitcoin. And his so-called space program is called SpaceX, and his rockets have the name Dragon. In the Bible, in the Revelation, the beast is also called as a dragon which comes out of the sea, which leads again to the biblical earth. Waters above, waters below. The beast comes out. And I think they are telling you that they have seen aliens under the water.
Apollo 11.
There is Stanley Kubrick and there is the Apollo 11 logo on the camera. Here is Stanley Kubrick examining the first footprint of the man walking on the moon, Neil Armstrong. There is Stanley Kubrick and a set with an astronaut on wires. Here is Stanley Kubrick from the front. There is another view of the set with a lunar model and operators in front of, a huge moon model and an operator with camera, artists who are painting the moonscape on huge canvas, another view of the moon simulator and an operator in front of, rails for a moving camera, filming the models to simulate approaching the moon surface, while the models were on the left and on the right side of the rails and the canvas was on the top. Here the camera is filming the top, so the canvas on rails. Artists are painting the canvas and there is the canvas hanging from the top side. So the moving camera on rails below this canvas can film this. And this is what it looks like. Here is the moving camera on rails, filming the canvas.
Feminem.
This is Eminem and this is Feminem. Eminem supports Kamala Harris in the Detroit rally together with Barack Obama. Yeah! If you question why Eminem do this with Barack Obama together, Barack Obama with Diddy,
Eminem wrote a song called My Darling, and the lyrics goes like this.
Haha, you sold your soul to me. Need I remind you? You remember that night you prayed to God you'd give anything to get a record deal. Well, Dre signed you.
Yeah, he got a nice face. Eminem transformed into the Feminem.
Those are tapes.
This is Diddy. This is Eminem, and this is Diddy.
Man, get in here. Get in here, get in here. We gotta reveal secrets about this book. And why it was so important to have the history of this book by Mr. Thomas. By Mr. Thomas is his last name, right? And why this state has something to do with that book. Yeah, right? I'm about to reveal this secret. Bear with me, but stay for the whole video. And later on in the video, I'm gonna show you how we come into play in this whole scenario and situation on why it's important to hide who we are. Now, this man right here has a part to play in it too. From Carolina. But let's start from the root of the problem. Why did wanted to cover this up, and after they approved the release in 2013? You're about to find out that secret right now, but I will not be putting my cash out or even nothing you about to see why. Now, let's start right here. South Carolina, descendant of Adam, found in South Carolina, could rewrite history. They already found the key component of Adam, which is damn near 400,000 million years ago, whatever. But why is the DNA is not tainted? Why it's not tainted? Because they just not found us 400 years ago. Now, watch this, pay attention, download the video, pay attention. According to research, an African-American man from South Carolina was found to have some of the oldest known DNA with his Y chromosome lineage tracing back to a common ancestor. So why they use the word Adam, the common ancestor. Now, put on your seatbelt, because this is where it gets sticky, and we made a left turn. Now, Egypt should not cross paths in the same place. But let's continue to talk about him and why these two peoples, or the same group of peoples, are some of the oldest peoples on earth, which we are descended from. Now, don't forget, Adam, his name is Albert Perry, South Carolina, right? Okay, that's one story. This is the second story. Now, according to a news story post, the Post and Courier, a Charleston, South Carolina man named Robert King Davis Ross, who identifies as African American, received his DNA results through 23andMe, confirming a genetic link to the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Ramses III. South Carolina, so both of them in South Carolina. You see, they already know this is linked to the same group of peoples in this book that the so-called CIA had to hide the story of who you are and who we are. Do you get it? Which further confirms, before Dr. Martin Luther King said, before the Pilgrim's Father landed at Plymouth Rock, we were here. We were already here. We was already here, which led to his death, to not reveal the secret on who we really are. Wow.
Shocking things taught at billionaire schools.
Etiquette class. First up, luxury etiquette classes, where they learn to tell the difference between a salad fork, a dessert fork, etc. Helicopter and jet lessons. Next, it's helicopter and private jet 101. Because you know, normal school buses just won't do. Investment boot camp for kids. Oh, and forget your piggy bank. Kids here get investment boot camp. Like, let's talk stock portfolios and offshore accounts, kiddos. Media training class. Then there's media training. Smile, wave, and dodge those paparazzi questions like a pro. Philanthropy strategy. And of course, philanthropy strategy. How to donate millions, stay in the spotlight, and still look humble. Global networking skills. And they learn global networking. How to mingle at yacht parties and make friends at galas across the world. So while we learn basic math and reading, these kids are out here learning how to conquer the world, one trust fund at a time.
In these last days, watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord,